TV soap news and spoilers say that Beyond the Gates, a day of deceptions, desks, and dramatic showdowns on this fateful Thursday, July 10, 2025, the hallowed halls of Beyond the Gates, a place where ambition collides with betrayal, and secrets simmer beneath polished surfaces, erupted into a spectacle of raw emotion and calculated deceit. The events that unfolded were nothing short of a soap opera brought to life, with high-stakes confrontations, whispered lies, and audacious schemes that could unravel careers and relationships alike. If you've been following the pulse of this drama, buckle up, because today's revelations will leave you reeling. Let's dive into the heart of the storm, where every word spoken and every glance exchanged carried the weight of hidden agendas. The day began with an electric tension crackling through the sleek, glass-walled office of Ted Marshall, the formidable head of the company. Ted, a man whose piercing gaze could make even the most confident employee falter, was at the center of a confrontation that would set tongues wagging across Beyond the Gates. The players in this high-stakes drama were Kat, a cunning and ambitious executive assistant with a knack for manipulation, and Eva, a diligent but beleaguered junior staffer whose quiet competence often went unnoticed, until today. The air in Ted's office was thick with animosity as Kat launched into a scathing tirade against Eva. Her voice, sharp as a blade, cut through the room, each word dripping with venom. "Eva has been utterly negligent," Kat declared, her perfectly manicured hands gesturing wildly for emphasis. "Those certificates, the ones you specifically asked for, Ted, were her responsibility, and she failed to deliver. I told her explicitly to handle them, and she didn't. She's putting us all at risk." Eva, standing just a few feet away, felt the floor shift beneath her. Her heart pounded as she processed Kat's accusations. Certificates? Negligence? The words swirled in her mind like a gathering storm. She knew the truth. Kat had never assigned her any such task. In fact, Kat had claimed just last week that the certificates, critical documents tied to the company's regulatory compliance, were handled and ready for submission. Eva had trusted her as she always did, assuming Kat's confidence meant the job was done. Now, standing under Ted's scrutinizing gaze, Eva realized she'd been thrown into a trap. Ted leaned back in his leather chair, his fingers steepled, his expression unreadable. The certificates were no small matter. They were the linchpin of a major deal that could elevate Beyond the Gates to new heights, or, if mishandled, bring regulatory scrutiny that could cripple the company. Ted's silence was deafening, and it sent a chill down Eva's spine. She opened her mouth to defend herself, but Kat was relentless, her words piling on like bricks in a collapsing wall. "I trusted Eva to follow through," Kat continued, her tone a masterful blend of disappointment and indignation. "I told her exactly what needed to be done, and she assured me she'd take care of it. I can't believe she'd let us down like this." Kat's eyes flicked toward Eva, a glint of triumph in them, as if she relished watching her rival squirm. Eva's mind raced. She wanted to scream that Kat was lying, that she'd never been told about the certificates, that this was all a setup. But the words caught in her throat. Kat's audacity was breathtaking, her lies so brazen they bordered on artistry. Eva knew that contradicting Kat outright, without evidence, could make her look desperate or incompetent. Instead, she took a deep breath and said, "Ted, I was never informed about any certificates. Kat told me last week that they were already completed." The room fell silent. Ted's eyes narrowed, shifting between the two women. He wasn't a man easily swayed by theatrics, and Kat's performance, while convincing, had cracks. Ted had worked with Kat long enough to know her penchant for bending the truth to suit her needs. Yet, Eva's quiet assertion carried a weight of sincerity that gave him pause. "Is that so?" he said finally, his voice low and measured. "Kat, you told me the certificates were done. Now you're saying Eva was responsible?" Kat's composure faltered for a split second, but she recovered with the grace of a seasoned performer. "Ted, I delegated the task to Eva because I was swamped with the quarterly reports. I trusted her to handle it. If she misunderstood, that's on her." Her smile was tight, her eyes daring Eva to challenge her further. Eva felt a surge of anger. Kat wasn't just throwing her under the bus, she was orchestrating a full-scale derailment. The certificates weren't just a minor oversight. They were a critical piece of the company's future, and Kat's lie could cost Eva her job. Worse, it could tarnish her reputation in an industry where trust was currency. But Eva wasn't the only one at risk. Kat's gamble was bold, perhaps too bold. By lying so blatantly, she was betting that Ted wouldn't dig deeper, that he wouldn't uncover the truth, that Kat herself had dropped the ball and was now pinning the blame on Eva to save face. As the confrontation reached its peak, Ted's phone buzzed, interrupting the standoff. He glanced at it, his expression darkening. "We'll revisit this," he said curtly. "I want those certificates on my desk by tomorrow morning, no excuses. Eva, Kat, sort this out. I don't care who's at fault, fix it." With that, he dismissed them, leaving the two women to navigate the fallout of their clash. Outside Ted's office, Eva turned to Kat, her voice trembling with barely contained fury. "Why are you doing this? You know I had nothing to do with those certificates." Kat's response was a cold smile. "Eva, darling, this is beyond the gates. If you can't keep up, maybe you don't belong here." With that, she sauntered away, leaving Eva to grapple with the weight of her betrayal. As the day unfolded, whispers of Kat's deception spread through the office like wildfire. Employees huddled in break rooms, exchanging theories about her motives. Was Kat really so desperate to undermine Eva that she'd risk her own credibility? Or was there a larger game at play? Some speculated that Kat's lies were a calculated move to impress her father, Richard, a senior executive whose influence loomed large over beyond the gates. Richard had always been Kat's safety net, a powerful ally who could shield her from the consequences of her schemes. But would Kat go so far as to jeopardize his reputation to advance her own agenda? The rumor mill churned with speculation. Kat had a history of bending the truth, but this was different. By claiming she delegated the certificates to Eva, she wasn't just deflecting blame, she was setting Eva up to take the fall for a mistake that could have far-reaching consequences. If Ted discovered that Kat had lied about the certificates being completed, it wouldn't just be her job on the line. Richard's reputation could take a hit, as he'd vouched for Kat's promotion to executive assistant just 6 months ago. The stakes were dizzyingly high, and Kat's audacity was the talk of the office. Some believed Kat's motive was simpler: jealousy. Eva, though junior, had been catching Ted's attention with her meticulous work and quiet determination. Unlike Kat, who thrived on charm and connections, Eva's competence was undeniable. Had Kat sensed a threat? Was this her way of ensuring Eva stayed in her place? The office was divided, with some admiring Kat's ruthless ambition and others appalled by her willingness to sacrifice a colleague for personal gain. As the day wore on, Eva took matters into her own hands. She spent hours combing through emails and records, searching for evidence to clear her name. Late in the afternoon, she found it. An email from Kat to Ted Union a week earlier, in which Kat had written, "Certificates are finalized and ready for submission." It was the proof Eva needed, a digital smoking gun that exposed Kat's lie. Armed with this evidence, Eva faced a choice: confront Kat directly or take it to Ted. The decision weighed heavily on her. Going to Ted could escalate the situation, potentially costing Kat her job. But staying silent might mean letting Kat's deception slide, risking further damage to Eva's reputation. While the drama in Ted's office dominated the day, another storm was brewing elsewhere and beyond the gates. Pamela, the company's flamboyant marketing director, was pitching a bold new venture, a modeling agency to represent the faces of the company's upcoming campaign. Her presentation, delivered in a conference room adorned with mood boards and glossy headshots, was a whirlwind of enthusiasm. "This is our chance to redefine Beyond the Gates," she declared, her voice brimming with conviction. "A modeling agency will give us control over our brand image, elevate our campaigns, and position us as trendsetters in the industry." Pamela's idea was ambitious, even audacious. She envisioned a roster of diverse, charismatic models who could embody the company's ethos of innovation and excellence. She spoke of runway shows, viral social media campaigns, and partnerships with top designers. Her eyes sparkled with the promise of glamour and prestige, but not everyone was convinced. Some in the room saw it as a risky departure from the company's core business, a gamble that could stretch resources thin. Others whispered that Pamela was chasing a vanity project, more interested in the spotlight than the bottom line. Skepticism hung heavy in the air, but Pamela was undeterred. She presented mock-ups of campaign ads, complete with sleek logos and taglines like "Beyond Beauty, Beyond Limits." She argued that the agency could generate revenue through model bookings while amplifying the company's brand. Yet, her colleagues' lukewarm response hinted at an uphill battle. Pamela's flair for the dramatic was well known, but her track record of overpromising and underdelivering made many wary. Would her vision soar, or would it crash and burn? Only time would tell. Meanwhile, another layer of drama unfolded in the form of Nicole, a fiery project manager whose temper was as legendary as her efficiency. Today, her ire was directed at Leslie, a soft-spoken graphic designer who'd inadvertently botched a key presentation slide. Nicole's frustration boiled over in a heated exchange in the break room, her voice carrying through the open-plan office. "Leslie, this is the third time this month you've dropped the ball," she snapped. "Do you even care about this project?" Leslie, visibly shaken, mumbled an apology, but Nicole wasn't done. Her anger was fueled not just by Leslie's mistake, but by a deeper, more personal grievance, her complicated entanglement with Ted. Rumors had swirled for months about Nicole and Ted's late-night meetings, their shared glances, and the occasional work dinner that stretched into the early hours. While neither had confirmed a relationship, the office grapevine buzzed with speculation. Was Nicole's outburst at Leslie a deflection of her own stress, caught in a web of professional ambition and personal feelings for Ted? Ted, for his part, seemed to navigate these waters with his usual stoicism. But those who knew him best noticed a flicker of unease in his demeanor. The certificates fiasco, combined with the interpersonal drama, was testing his patience. As the company's leader, he was accustomed to pressure, but the convergence of Kat's lies, Eva's quiet resolve, Pamela's wild ambitions, and Nicole's volatility was a perfect storm. Could he maintain control, or would Beyond the Gates descend into chaos? As the sun set on July 10, 2025, Beyond the Gates was a powder keg of ambition, deceit, and unresolved tensions. Eva clutched her newfound evidence, weighing her next move. Would she confront Kat and risk escalating their feud, or present the email to Ted and let the chips fall where they may? Kat, meanwhile, was already spinning new narratives, confident that her charm and her father's influence would shield her from fallout. Pamela pressed forward with her modeling agency pitch, undeterred by the skeptics, while Nicole's outburst left Leslie shaken and the office abuzz with gossip. We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe TV Soap News and Spoilers for more updates on Beyond the Gates.